What's going on? It's your boy Tunnel Vision. We back for another one. Shit, on the road, man. I'm supposed to help this office get ready for an inspection. I think I'm on my way there, but I might be turning around because I feel like ish. But enough of that. Yo, man. People need to kind of get off of that BS. I'm not sure. A lot of people, maybe they didn't have the injury before, or they might not know about the injuries. What happens when you rupture your Achilles tendon. But if you haven't, check it out. You know, we have online. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Go there and see what exactly happens when you rupture your Achilles tendon. Now, Gamboa might have torn it slightly. He might have had a slight tear or something of that nature. That I can see possibly happening. Then obviously you have the shoes on. He's probably ankles and everything are probably wrapped. So he'd be fine if he'd have a little discomfort, but he'd still be able to perform. That I can understand. But if he actually ruptured it, he would not have been doing nothing. It would have been done. Especially not to mention it's a foot that he plants on. You can't do that when you tear your Achilles tendon. And how do I know this? Is it from YouTube? Is it from secondary sources? No, it's because I effing did that I did that. I tore my Achilles tendon. Okay, first of all, it sounds like there's a gunshot. You just hear a pa! Like literally like there's a gunshot where people turn around and look because they like heard something pop. That's what actually happens. And you sit around looking, or you think that somebody like shot you in your leg or hit you in your leg or punched in your leg or something like that. So you're gonna be looking around to see who the hell hit you. That what happens. And when I did mine, that I heard pop. Immediately I knew. I was like, I'm done. That's it. Playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Cutting on my son. Beep, beep. You know what I mean? Beep, beep. Tried to do a little cut. Boom, I cut on him. I was out. Planting my foot to go by him and get this little layup. Pa! Heard it pop. Once that happened, I was done. I couldn't move the foot. You really can't move your foot anymore. I touched back there. There was nothing back there. Like when you touch in the back of your leg, you could touch that tendon, grab that tendon. I did that and there was nothing back there. It was over. You couldn't move. Couldn't move my foot. I had to put my arm or basically on my son so he could get me into the freaking house. And they had my brother come and pick me up and take me to the emergency room. But you can't move. You went into the house. I tried to mess around, try to see if I could even like walk on it or you rupture your Achilles tendon, you are done. It's over. Ain't no going back, especially something like boxing, you can't do it. It's impossible. So everybody that's talking about that he ruptured his Achilles tendon, stop it. He did not rupture it. He might have had a tear, a slight tear. Okay, I can even go with that. Ruptured it? Absolutely not. So get the F out of here with that, especially in the second round. He would have fallen down so many times. It would have just been bloop, 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 bloop on the floor. Bloop, 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 bloop. That's all you would have been seeing. Nothing more. Over and over and over and over and over again. And that's not what happened. So stop it with that. Now, as far as the fight itself, Tank was talking about the fight, and I think it was very informative of what he was saying, like basically mentally what he was thinking in the fight. And he said that at first, he's like, yo, I was hitting him with crazy shots, with a lot of clean shots, but he wasn't going anywhere. You know, and I kept hitting with hard shots, boom, over and over again, and he still was staying there. So he said he kind of backed off of that because he didn't want to gas out. He didn't want to gas himself out, which also shows a certain level of intelligence when it comes to him, because a normal fighter be like, nah, man. Some fighters just be like, nah, I need to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to do. And like I said before in the previous video, when you move up in weight like that, you don't know how your body's going to react. You don't. So you kind of like just making adjustments as you go in the fight, because it's the first time that you're feeling anything when it comes to this weight. You know, everything's going to be different. When your punch resistance might be different. When you hit people, that might be different. Your output, even though you might have a certain level of output, like you go to lower weights, guys get faster and faster and faster, and they throw more punches. But as you go up in the weight, they kind of it tapers off. It kind of decreases. So the same speed that you used to, amount of punches that you used to, throwing at the certain velocity that you used to throwing, you might not be able to necessarily do that same thing at that higher weight. Maybe you can adjust over time and be able to do it, as you conform to the weight, as you get used to the weight, but you might not be able to do it at first or ever at all. Floyd used to flatline everybody at 130, 135. He used to beat the bricks out of people. Stop people on a regular basis. But when he moved up, he saw that he needed to adjust and change his weight, his game plan, especially when he started facing guys that were his same size, that were bigger than him. They were 15, 20 pounds bigger than him. He also saw that punch resistance was different. Before, Floyd would just walk you down. He would walk through you, and he would take shots and just, roll shots with his face. He would roll shots and just come at you and beat the hell out of you. But then as he got up in weight, he got to a point where he was getting hit, and he started getting buzzed. Bay buzzed him. Chop Corley buzzed him. So he understood that, all right, now I need to make an adjustment because I can't fight like this at these higher weight classes. I can't do it. I can't afford to get hit at all, pretty much, especially when I'm at 147, 154, because it's a different ball game. And he made the changes. So back to Tank. So Tank, said, that's why he kind of backed off a little bit when it came to that. And they asked him, how come you stopped using your jab? And he just said, I was trying to give him different looks. He said, I didn't use the jab for a couple of rounds, but then later on I started using jab again. I started hitting him with power jabs and hurting him with the power jabs. So he was, with what was going on in the ring, he didn't let as ironic, because outside the ring, he'll let his ego get into the middle of things. But inside of the ring, he didn't let his ego get into the middle of things. Okay, he saw what was happening. He saw that, okay, this Gamboa, that's in front of me today, it's not going to necessarily just be able to go out in 3-4 rounds, which Gamboa has never done anyway like that. He understood that he's looking at it from who he has in front of him that particular day and what they're doing and what their level of skill is on that day. And he made the necessary adjustments because he was smart with it. He didn't gas out later on in the fight, where now he's fighting for his life and God forbid something happens where he ends up getting stopped, or he ends up getting hurt or beat up unnecessarily. He didn't do that. He saw, okay, this guy's not going down. Okay, and this guy's using his little tactics. He's holding, he's pushing off, he's holding. He's making it kind of a rough fight, using his veteran tactics. He sees all this happening. So because he sees all this happening, he made the adjustment. And then, as you saw later on in the fight, he got that second wind also, kind of like the 11th and 12th round. He still had enough energy where he was able to, especially when Gamboa hit him with that 3-piece when he had his hands down, and the ref told him to step, because the ref said break, so he kept his hands down and he moved back. And he probably was also tired and also mentally probably also drained at that same time. Had his hands down, and Gamboa caught him with a 3-piece, and he just ate that 3-piece. And I think that got him pissed. That got him pissed. That gave him a little surge, and he was able to handle his business. And he stopped, and he ended up stopping Gamboa. So everything that everybody's saying is kind of funny. It shows how great Tank is. What everybody's saying right now is showing how great Tank is. Because everybody's saying that you are so good that we expect you to be able to take this guy out in 2-3 rounds. That's how good you are. So even though you completely dominated this guy, you dropped him down 3 times, or 3 or 4 times, won every single round, hurt him in other rounds where if there's more time you could have stopped him. Even though you did all that and you completely dominated this fight and you stopped him, we're seeing it as a trash performance. And somehow people look at him and all of a sudden it means that he's not good, which is weird to me, but it is what it is. Hey man, we'll see what happens with the next fight. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.